Hey my friends, this is a late Boy Scout and this video is dual purpose. Today we're going to be testing and reviewing the Schrade SCHF14 fixed blade knife. I'm going to give you a little field review of this. I've done some previous testing with it. I'm going to do a little more today. But not only that, you can win this knife. You've got 8 chances to win it through Schrade's Facebook page. The link to that contest is in the description below if you just want to skip the video and go ahead and enter. Be my guest to do that. Otherwise, stick around for the testing and review of the SCHF14 from Schrade. So as I said at the outset, Schrade has given away 8 of these things, and you can just skip this video entirely, go down to the link down below to enter the contest right now. It is on their Facebook page. If you don't do Facebook, I'm sorry about that. There will be other contests from my channel in the future, so don't be too concerned if you can't enter this one. So let's talk a little bit about the knife. Begin with the sheath. That is a Kydex sheath with a molded in belt loop that you can see there. That is actually a separate piece screwed on to the sheath, as you can see, making it possible for you to take that off and then mount this sheath to, I don't know, a tactical vest, a backpack, whatever you want. Get creative. Mount this thing however you feel like you need to. You could mount it upside down because, again, the Kydex holds it in place. It's probably possible that if you shook that real hard, you might get the knife out, but it takes enough force that I don't really see that being a danger. It's got some pretty good retention in there, and because it's Kydex, you can always mold that a little tighter just by applying some heat to the Kydex and then kind of pushing and molding on it a little bit yourself at home. So a very simple mod there. Alright, so that's a pretty nice sheath, and I really like what they did with it. Let's go on to the knife just a little bit. It is a drop point knife with a hollow ground blade on it. You can see that that's kind of a stone washed finish on there, kind of a blackened stone washed finish. Man, I think it's really attractive. It does have that Schrade logo emblazoned there on the blade, and that's pretty cool looking. The edge angle on it I found to be perfectly fine for carving, for slicing. It's really well done as far as just kind of finishing touches are concerned. It is completely full tang, as you can see there, and it's got G10 handle slabs on either side of that tang with a generous lanyard hole there at the bottom. So that's pretty awesome. Don't have to worry about holding on to this knife or having it slip out of your hand when you can lanyard that onto your wrist. That's pretty cool. And the G10 is sculpted in a very cool way. I really like that sort of mountainous kind of appearance that it has, which will add some traction to the handle, I would say. Now on the spine of the knife, you can see that there is some jimping also there to help add some traction, and I'd say that that is adequate. With gloves on, I get a really nice grip on this knife, and I'm not concerned at all about it slipping out. Now, they call this pretty much a tactical knife with a 3 1/4 inch blade, I should say. At that measurement, I'd call it, you know, kind of on the small side for tactical, but then again, you know, what is a tactical knife if you don't have it with you? So a small knife is, you know, maybe really good for tactical depending on your situation. The weight comes in at, I think, just under 6 ounces, which once again makes it extremely carryable either for outdoor use or for any sort of tactical use that you may need to apply it into. Those handle slabs are screwed on by Torx screws, so you can remove those, clean it out at any time if you needed to, if it got soaking wet in some salt water or something like that. Or if you really wanted to, you could get creative and put some completely different scales on there, make some out of wood or something like that. Might be fun. The SCHF14 is made with the relatively budget steel 8CR13 MOV. I've got great experience with that steel in folding knives. I think it performs really well. It's very easy to resharpen. In extended outdoor use, it will dull, so you probably want to have some sort of a sharpening system with you if you're going to use this in an extended backpacking or other tactical situation. I think Schrade has come up with a pretty cool, pretty useful design with the SCHF14. I don't think you can really go wrong with it at the price point, which at retailers comes in at around $35, and that's not bad at all for a good fixed blade knife like this one. The first time I took this knife out was on a car camping trip with my sons. I had some 2x4s to break up for a fire that we were having, and so I used this to baton those apart with. Now most folks will tell you that batoning is kind of an extreme test for your knife. I wouldn't argue with that, but the SCHF14 had no issues pounding through a few 2x4s. It did perfectly fine. I also did some carving with it on some tree limbs that I found nearby, carved away at it for a while just to get a sense of the ergonomics. I felt like it did pretty nicely. For its size, for its weight, I think it's a more than adequate knife for backpacking, for camping, for going on hikes, for just having for emergency situations. Now, I wouldn't suggest that the SCHF14 is the end-all be-all of small survival knives, but for the price, I can't really see it being beaten by many other knives. I think it's got good ergonomics for slicing and carving. It's got an effective blade angle on it. You can even do some reverse carving for some nice power cuts, which works really nicely. I think you're looking at a pretty tough, small fixed blade for a whole variety of good uses. Well, I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to thank Schrade for their generosity. Remember, you've got 8 chances to win this cool knife. More information on the giveaway are down in the description, including the link that you need to go to in order to get entered. Now, I worked hard to coordinate with the folks from Schrade to make sure that we could get this giveaway out and done and delivered in time for Christmas, so Santa might bring you a nice SCHF14. Once again, I thank you for watching. I'm the Late Boy Scout. Merry Christmas.